Today, we're going to talk about getting rich and frugality. Are they related? Well, let me tell you the story. Years and years ago, I was only about 19 years old, and I can't say he was a friend. He was a guy I knew from an office I worked at, and he was the only person who'd ever had, at that time, a PhD from Harvard Business School. So, like everyone else who believes in prestige and titles and diplomas, I thought, well, this is the guy to ask when I'm 19, how can I get rich and have $30 million by the time I'm 30? So that's what I asked him. And he said to me this. He said, okay, there's two ways to get financially independent. He said, the way that almost everybody takes is to get an education, preferably in a field not like medieval literature where it's very hard even to get a job, but to get an education in something that's in demand, useful. These days it might be in computer science or something, but in those days it was any kind of engineering. Uh, Wall Street was always a good opportunity for getting rich. But he said, you get a job and you start out and you work hard and you do the job and you look busy all the time, and eventually you get promotions. And when you're on your way to retirement, you don't spend money foolishly. You don't try to impress people. You just get what you need and shop and put away as much as you can in sensible investments, maybe the stock market, maybe real estate. And he said, by the time you're 60 and ready to retire, you'll probably be a millionaire. And I said, yeah, but I'm 19. I don't want to wait to 50 years till I'm a millionaire. I want to be a millionaire in, well, 5 years. He said, well, then you have to have a useful product or service and some kind of expertise that other people don't have. I said, but how about frugality? He said, well, of course, that's the big mistake. People who make a lot of money, sports stars and people who have good going businesses, their big mistake is they want to impress people. And so they buy a very expensive, flashy car. I could name, like Lamborghini or Ferrari or even the best Mercedes. But what is a car? A car gets you from point A to point B, and a slightly used car that's maybe less than a year old might be a third less than the same car at a dealer, brand new. And so you might as well always go for a a low mileage secondhand car. And what a lot of people don't understand is that if you want something that lasts long and is sturdy, it usually isn't going to be a brand name. Years and years ago in America, there was a chain of stores called J.C. Penney. And if you bought your blue jeans there, they were $4 and they lasted forever. And if you bought your blue jeans from the Levi Strauss store, they were $35 and they lasted a long time too. But why pay 5 times more when you can get the same usage without having a brand name? Okay, so there's lesson number one. Forget brand names, especially brand names new. Always compare value, look for durability, forget status symbol and impressing anybody, because that is even a mistake. You want to impress somebody with, oh, he's got something expensive. No, they're not impressed. Maybe they'll be jealous. Maybe they'll be annoyed that they can't afford the same thing that you have. But it's never a positive. And by the way, just as a general thing, I have a wonderful wife And when she has nothing better to do, she takes the paper napkins that we buy at a place like IKEA and she cuts them in half. Why? Well, she says, why should you use a big full napkin to blow your nose or wipe your face when a half a napkin will do and it lasts twice as well? Well, okay, the only problem there is scale. When you buy a $10,000 car instead of a $50,000 car, that's a huge savings. But when you spend hours and hours on a $3 package of napkins to make them last twice as long, that isn't as sensible. All right. Now, status symbols usually for the average person is a negative. However, let me tell you a story. Years and years ago, I used to give a seminar in how to get rich. And my trademark was I would wear beat up clothes, kind of like what I'm wearing now. And I would have a beat up truck. And my opening line was, hey, don't go for status symbols, go for economy and uh, rich people. And there's even a book about that, The Millionaire Store. But really rich people don't flaunt their wealth. And that did very well for me in most of the United States. Well, I decided I would book a big auditorium in Disneyland in Los Angeles. And I started out with my usual, beat up clothes, beat up truck, and talking about that. And my whole pitch was I gave a free seminar on Thursday, and you signed up and you bought tickets for the weekend seminar. And normally I would sell out because I was a better talker then than I am now. But in any event, in Los Angeles, I couldn't believe this. I didn't sell one ticket, not one ticket. And I had my little spies, I had some cute girls working for me, go to the audience and say, what do you think of this guy? And they said, well, he has a beat up truck and he dresses like a hobo. Why should we listen to him? Well, that was the Los Angeles lesson, I call that. So fortunately, it was a Thursday and I could have one more preview on Friday. So guess what? I went out and rented a white Rolls Royce, with the beautiful swan lady on the front. And I got myself a Los Angeles white suit with a black tie. And boy, did I look, and I had one of those nice straw hats, and I looked great. And that was the picture I had made up, like the poster of me standing in front of a Rolls Royce with a good looking woman in my white suit. And then I opened my lecture with, you want to be like me? Good looking women, Rolls Royce? Listen to what I have to say. And then I did my pretty much the usual pitch. And guess what? Sold out. All right. Moral of that story, status symbols are usually worthless. However, if you're selling something and the type of person that is buying is going to be impressed, it's really a grift. It's a swindle. But if you want to sell your product, you have to fit the image that the audience wants. So there you go. That's our story. All right, let's have some simple rules. Now, you're thinking of buying something, something you want. First question is, do I really need it? If the answer is no, I don't need it, then forget it. But if you do need it, first question, can I get it for free? All right, now my kid, he wanted a monitor for his computer. And he was a smart kid, so he went to the dump. And at the dump, there was a dozen monitors people had thrown out. Maybe some of them were broken, maybe not. So he took the dozen monitors, put them in his car, took them home, and experimented with them, and was able to cannibalize and put together a gorgeous monitor that might have cost $200 for free. So rule one, can I get it for free? Rule 2, if you can't get it for free, is there something I don't want in my life, something I own that I can trade with somebody else, whether it's a product or a service? Uh, I don't want to tell a story on this, it would take too long. So the point is, uh, somebody else that you know, or even a dealer, may have exactly what you want, but is willing to take something you have in trade, or even something you bought and are going to exchange. All right. Okay. Can I get it free? 1. Can I do without it? 1. Can I get it free? 2. Can I trade something for it? 4. Can I get it at a huge discount? Obviously, if you go to Walmart or Amazon, many times you can get something at half the price or even much less than you pay in a retail store. So, can I get it at a huge discount? And finally, as Woody Allen said, the only sin in my family was paying retail. So, so whatever you do, never buy anything at the full retail price unless we're talking napkins for a couple of bucks. But anything serious, you can get free or cheap. And with that, we'll say hasta luego from beautiful French Riviera.